Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to install various Pali study software on your Windows computer or Windows laptop. I have also made other videos for how to install it on a Mac computer or MacBook, and I will also make different videos for how to install things on Android phones and on iPads or iPhones. So just some background on this installation instructions. This was actually mainly aimed at students of the ITBMU, the Buddhist University in Yangon. So I had given a lecture on how to install these Pali softwares, like for Stali and Tipitaka study. I had given a lecture and was actually wanted to install it with the students in the lecture, but it turned out to be quite difficult for everyone to follow along with the speed that I was using. So I decided to make these video tutorials so that everyone can watch them on their own and can follow along according to their own speed, can press pause and go back if something was unclear. And because I will be showing with the mouse, you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I hope that in this way it will be easy and possible for everyone to install the things. Another note, so you will just here I copied the files that we are going to use, or that you might have downloaded already. So the links for downloading these are in the description of the video below. So this Pali study folder, so there are different folders here. Book resources, these are just some PDF books and ebooks related with Tipitaka studies. So you can use this. I found it just helpful to have them all in one place, not needing to search here and there in the internet. For Android, this is for the installation of apps and websites on your Android phone, and then Pali Study is the folder that we are going to use. So for installation on computers. So this folder, actually, this zip file includes both the installations files for installation on Windows as well as on Mac computers, just so that it's easier to share. So there's just one file and you can share it with anyone regardless of what computer they have. So a little info on what we are going to do. So this file currently includes the Pali Study zip file currently includes these softwares. So especially most of you want to know about how to install the Digtial Pali Reader, and I'm also showing how to include the offline translations for it. So English translations in the Digtial Pali Reader, how to integrate them. Then some of the Myanmar students might want to read in Myanmar font, so I'll include some Pali fonts here and how to install them. Then Pali keyboard to write correct Pali diacritics, like this one here. Then the Access to Insight website, Sutta Central Legacy website. It's an old version of the Sutta Central website, which we can have a full archive for offline usage. Sutta Central progressive web app, which is the current version. Then the Tipitaka app, PCD, and a Pali declension tool. So the thing is, you can download all these things in the internet. So actually all this now will be for offline users, right? So you don't need internet when you use them, especially here in Asia. And for monks and nuns, it's sometimes difficult to get internet. So All this is for offline usage. Only for this one you will need some internet for the installation, but later when you can use it offline. Also, all these tools are not made by me, so I have also just found them on the internet. These are not my property, and I will also provide links to all of them, like to their original websites of those who have made these. So if you want, you can download them directly from those websites, from the original website. So the only purpose, like why I have made this Pali Study archive, is to have it all in one place. So that it's easier to install it all at once. And this tutorial will be going along, will be making use of this archive. So if you download this archive, it will be much easier for you to follow this video. Another note, this one, the Pali declension tool, actually I don't know who made this. I have no idea. I just got this from someone here at the university. But for the others, wherever I know the link, I will give you the link, so you can also download it from their website. So I hope that, I believe that all these, like in terms of copyright, that is not a problem, that I have just combined these. In any case, this is kind of like for private, just to share it with my co-students here, classmates at the university. Just for ease of use, I have created this archive where all is included. Okay, so let's get started with the installation. So first of all, this Pali Study zip archive, I suggest that you can just leave it. You can save these wherever you like, in your documents or wherever you want to save them, so that you can later also share them with others. But for the installation, we are going to use another copy of this. So for the installation, we will just copy this. I suggest that you get familiar with some basic shortcuts on Windows, like keyboard shortcuts. So for copy, I just use the Control and C on your keyboard. Yeah, I think you know the Control button and the C button. Control C is copy. Control V is paste. Control X is cut, and we will get to some other shortcuts later. So I won't be doing like this all the time, copy and then paste like this. This is too tiresome. I'll just say whenever I copy something, so just keep this in mind. So I copy this, and we need to copy this to a location where we won't move it later. So in the process of the installation, we will make some shortcuts, and they need those files to stay where they are. Otherwise, the shortcuts won't work later. So that's why I suggest you just put it in your C drive or your D drive, whatever you have, kind of like local drives on your laptop. It's just important that later you don't move it. So for example, I don't suggest you to put it on your desktop, because later you might want to clean up the desktop and then you have to delete it, so that will be a problem. So I suggest you just put it in your C drive, that might be called Windows C, and then we just paste it here. You need to give permission in order to copy something into this folder. And then this is a zip file, so we can extract it here by right-clicking on it. And then either, so if you have already some kind of software installed, then you can use this here, this one, extract here, or otherwise Windows will also have its own function, and there will be something around here which tells you extract, and then you just extract it here. Depending on your computer's speed, this may take a while, so this depends on your computer's speed. So now this is finished and we can already delete this Pali study archive. We don't need it anymore, so we delete it. And we go into this folder. So now here you see some kind of strange archive. This is a 7-zip archive. I used this format in order to make the file size much smaller than 7-zip. So actually, maybe I should have mentioned this earlier, you need to have at least around, let's say, for the installation you will need temporarily 5 GB of free space on this disk. So you see now I have enough space here. So during the installation, you see now this is around, yes, now it's like 1 GB, but later after it will be extracted, fully extracted, then it will be almost 4 GB. So just make sure that you have enough space for during the installation. After the installation it will be a bit less because we can delete some of the things. So in order to extract this, you need to install software first. So I provided these are for Mac, you can see, so we can just delete them. And this is the installation file for Windows. So just double click this, install, and then it's installed. Finish. We close this and we go back. So the unzipping utility now you can already delete, and then you go on right click and 7-zip. So if you have WinRAR, you can use this if you want, but I suggest to use 7-zip because in my experience it is actually a bit faster. So because this is their own file format and they know better how to handle it. So 7-zip and then extract here. So there are some other functions here. Don't mind them. Always use this function here, extract here. Okay, so we can delete the archive again. Then we go into this folder and we see another archive here which is called websites. So this one, now it's just 200 MBs, later will be much more. So this will take a while, so let's start already extracting this while we are doing some other installations. So we will right click, again the same story, 7-zip and then extract here. So this computer does it very quickly, but on some older computers this might take up to half an hour or 1 hour. I mean, just depends on the speed of your computer. Alright, so while this is extracting, even here takes some time, let's go into this folder, browsers. Here you see installation files for Mac. You can delete this folder, we don't need it. And then Chrome and Pale Moon. So you will need both of these browsers for using all the tools that I'm providing. This computer here already has Chrome installed, so I won't be installing it again. But if you have don't have Chrome on your computer, you should install Chrome first. So most of you will have 64-bit computers, so use this first, 64-bit. In case your computer is based on a 32-bit, it will just give you an error message, and then you can use the 32. So in order to know, you can go on right-click on this PC, Properties, and here you can see system type. This is a 64-bit operating system. So Chrome is already installed, so we will install the Pale Moon browser. Just double click. Oh, actually, I want to say a few words about the Palemoon browser. So let's first install it. Next, we can use the standard installation, install, and then it will install. So now launch Palemoon now when it's finished. So the Palemoon browser is actually the browser which we are going to use for the Digtial Pali Reader. And since it is so Palemoon is actually, or let's say the Digtial Pali Reader, this tool, the Digtial Pali Reader, it was initially made for Firefox, to work with the Firefox browser. So many of you might know this from the past, but Firefox, since it has been updated many times, it doesn't support the Digtial Pali Reader anymore. There was also for some time an option to install the Waterfox browser, but this also doesn't support all the features anymore. So you have to use this Palemoon browser. You can download it also from their website, the latest version, just palemoon.org. So this is based on an old version of Firefox, and this is the browser which we can still use to use the Digtial Pali Reader. All right. So after we have opened the Palemoon browser, now we will go. We will put this here to the side in order to open side by side the Palemoon browser and the folders here. So next we go into plugins, and you see these 5 plugins here, and what we do to install them in the browser, we just click and drag them, you click and hold and you drag them here, and then you just drop them, you just release, and then install now, and you do this one by one with each of these files. Install now, next, and the last one. And when you finish the last one, you click on restart now. Okay, so here we can go back, we can close this. So what next thing you want to do is we want to clean up this browser a little bit. So in order to remove this bookmarks bar, here in the bottom we just right click and remove the bookmarks bar. Next, customize, right click and customize, and then we can move this icon here next to the search bar. I just like this, it's more easily accessible. Next thing, we click on it, which will open the Digtial Pali Reader. So now what we would like to do is to make this welcome page our homepage for this browser, so that whenever we open this browser, it will start right here. So what we do is we close this other tab, so we just have only this open, and then we press the Alt key on the keyboard. So on your keyboard next to the spacebar you see the Alt key, and this will open this menu up here. Then you click on Tools. While you have this page opened, you click on Tools and Preferences, and then Homepage, Use Current Page. So here in the General tab, Use Current Page, and then just OK. Next thing we want to do, we want to set up some things here. So we go to Tools and Preferences. Then, so by now the websites here already have extracted. So while you do these extra settings now, you should already have extracted the websites. So we can delete this website archive. And now we can associate the offline website archives with this Digtial Pali Reader. So here check this box for show translations. You might also want to do this, show page numbers, as you like, and then access to Inside Archive, use Offline Archive, use Buddhist Text Archive, and then for the access to Inside Archive, we will search the folder. So we go to the C folder, or wherever you put it, wherever you put this Pali study folder. You go there inside, then to the websites, and now you see this website here, ATI website mod. One short note about this. On the one hand, like before I told you, you can also download the ATI website archive directly from the Access to Insight website, but if you just download the original file, it will not work with this Digital Pali Reader anymore, because the website archive has been changed in some way, and so it doesn't work with this tool anymore. So that's why I modified this. Like I didn't change. I didn't really change anything. All I did was because this here is searching for some start files. It wants to have these start files, so I just copied the index file and created them start files. So just some technicalities which I changed in order to make this website archive work with the Digital Pali Reader. So just for information, if you download it yourself, you have to modify it first before it can work with the Digital Pali Reader. Okay, so we just select this folder, ATI website mod, and then select folder. We do the same for the Buddhist text archives. Select the folder and here, select folder. Next, what you might want to do is change the font, because the standard font here, Verdana, it doesn't display the Pali diacritics correctly. So what you want to do is, for example, we would like to use this Sigo UI. This font I suggest to use on Windows. It's nice to read, and it can properly show the Pali diacritics. Text size you might want to increase maybe to 18. Okay, and that's it. So we apply. If you did something wrong here, like if you went inside this folder and you clicked something here, then when you click apply, you will get an error message. So make sure you select the right folder, just this one, ATI website mod, select folder, and then click OK. So now you see this font. Now when we reload the page, the font will change, and now we have the different font, and the Pali, now you can see the Pali diacritics are correctly shown. Okay, one more thing, just to make this a bit nicer. Now, at the moment, it looks like this, like a moon. We might want to change this. So let's close this. Let's go to the menu here and go down to the Pale Moon browser. So then you can right-click on it, more, and open file location. So right-click and then file location. If you have a Windows 7, so this is Windows 10. If you have Windows 7, you just right-click on this and open folder location. But here you have to do right-click, then more, and open file location. So then we are here in this folder, and we can change the name. Let's say Digital Pali Reader. You have to give the administrator permission. And then we want to change the icon also. So right-click, properties, change icon, and then we have to find the icon. Okay, so here it already showed because I was there before. But again, to show you how to get there, you go to your folder, Pali Study, Pali Resources, then Websites, and there is a folder called Icons. So you go inside, choose this one for the Digital Pali Reader. Okay, Okay, again have to give permission, and now the icon is changed, and when we open it we also have this icon here. We can also pin it to the taskbar, so whenever you close it, it's still here and you can access it easily. Okay, alternatively what you can do is you right click here, send to desktop, create a shortcut, and now you see we have this shortcut here. Alright, so actually now in this way we have already finished setting up the Digital Pali Reader. The next thing you might want to do is to, or let's say for Myanmar, for the Myanmar monks and nuns, if you want to look at this Pali in Myanmar script, then you can do so here. So go in the tools, preferences, text, and then change the text script from Roman into Myanmar. So you will see if we reload the page, then it can show in Myanmar script. But I've had the experience actually that on many Windows computers the Myanmar font is not displayed properly, so that's why I have included some fonts here. So again, in the Pali resources folders you see fonts and keyboards. So fonts, we go into the fonts folder, and here I have given some fonts. You can just install them, double click and install. Now I have already installed it. Especially important is this one, Noto Sans Myanmar. This is the Google font, for Myanmar script. Zorji you also might need for the PCED software that I'll explain later. So also install that. And then what we can do is we can change the font here as well. So we go to text, preferences text, and then we change this to one of the fonts that we just installed. So one thing, you have to use Unicode fonts, so Zorji 1 won't work with this. But otherwise Unicode fonts you can use. In order to know the names of the font, you can go in some kind of text application, for example in Word. Then you can browse these fonts here and you will see where is it, and here is the Noto Sans Myanmar. So this is what we just installed. And this, in the same way as it is written here, you have to write it in the Digital Pali Reader. So Noto space Sans space Myanmar. So this is what we're going to do here. We'll just write Noto Sans Myanmar. And then you will see the font will change if I reload the page. And now it looks much better. You can use any kind of font, your favorite Myanmar font, that whatever you like. You can also do this with the other scripts. So, for example, Thai, Devanagari, Sinhala. If the default font is not very good, you can choose any kind of font that you like, but it must be a Unicode font. Okay, let's. Okay, so the next thing you might want to do is you might want to get the Pali keyboard. So here you can see that I have included two different keyboards. One is English UK Pali and one is English US Pali. So this depends on whatever language you have for your system. Here we go to English, I mean to the keyboard. If you have only one language on your laptop, then this will not show here. So what you will do is you will just search for keyboard, or actually language, yes, language, edit language in keyboard options. Otherwise, alternatively, you can go here and then language preferences. It's the same. So now you can see here I have 3 different languages installed. The UK is what I mean on this computer. It's not my computer actually. So this is the UK font which I'm using for writing English, or which is used here for writing English, and the US font is not even used for English. It's actually, I mean, Latin script. It's used for Myanmar, and then there is also a Sinhala script. So because of that, in order to have 3 different options, so that I can later easily change between the fonts, or between the keyboards, I will install the UK keyboard so that they are all separate. So I go here to English UK Pali, and we just click the setup. So here actually I already have it installed. In your case it will just install. It will ask you a permission. It will ask you some permission. Probably it will ask you a permission, and then it will just inform you it has been successfully installed. Okay, so now what we can do is we go back here to the language preferences, and now to the UK one, or you can add a language. If you haven't got that one which you just installed, you will add a language and you will use the UK or US if you installed US. So I will go to the UK English, to the options, and now you see already it's already here, UK and Pali. So actually we don't need 2, we can use just 1, so that's why let's remove this one, and then just this one remains. And now I can easily, so now you can see right now the Zorji Myanmar is selected, so if I write it will be in Myanmar. And how to switch quickly between the different keyboards is you press the Alt and the Shift key together. So Alt Shift, now you see it has changed to Sinhala. Again Alt Shift, now it has changed to UK Pali. Again Alt Shift will change to Zorji, and in this way I can change between the different keyboards. So now since we have installed it, now we are able to write Pali diacritics, and how to do that is to use the right Alt key. So next to your space bar you have 2 Alt keys, one on the left side, one on the right side, and you have to use the right one plus the key that you want to write. So let's say an Alt and an A, then you will get this, an Alt and an I, then you get the long I, U like this. For the Na, the retroflex, you use the N. For the Nga, you use the G, so Alt and G gives us this. And Alt and C, no sorry, Alt and Y, yes, Ya, so that gives us Nya. Okay, so Alt and N gives us this, Alt G, this, Alt Y gives us this, and then the others are according to their letter, so Alt and T, D, M. In this way you can use this keyboard. There are also some, you see, with H and S and Z, or somewhere else, some other kind of Sanskrit diacritics are also included here. Okay, so now we finished. This is just for Mac, so we don't need it. We finished installing the Pale Moon browser, the Digital Pali Reader, If you haven't got Chrome, you need to install it first before you do the next step. So we can delete both the browsers and the fonts and keywords folder. Just delete it. Alright, so next thing, we'll set up the offline websites. So you go into this folder, you can close this, go into the websites folder, and then we have different archives here. So the ATI, that means access to inside website. Buddhist text is just a resource for the Digital Pali Reader. And SC stands for Sutta Central. And in this case, this is the legacy version of the Sutta Central website. So it's an old HTML version. It doesn't have all the features of the new website. But the benefit is that we can use it completely offline, the complete website. So let's start with the access to inside website. So in this folder you will find this file index. On some computers it will also have the file extension, so it will be called index.html. So that doesn't make any difference, just search this index without any such additions, index or index.html. And then right click on it, send to desktop create shortcut. And then you see we got the shortcut here on our desktop, and we want to change the name to ATI. Next we also can change the icon, so right click, properties, change icon, browse, and we already get back here in this folder, and you can use this access to inside icon, and it will change to the ATI icon. Then we go back to the Sutta Central folder. We do the same thing again. Right click, send to desktop create shortcut. Then we change the name. That's the F4 key I use, F2. And then Sutta Central HTML. So I choose this extra extension for the name so that we don't confuse it with the other, with the new website. So that's you can name it however you like. Just make sure you differentiate it from the new website. So you could call it HTML, or you could call it Legacy, Sutta Central Legacy. Then again we change the icon, and we use this one. So I made these different icons just so that it's easier to identify. Sorry, I didn't make the icons, I just downloaded them from Google. So you can also download them from Google if you want. Otherwise they are here in the websites folder. Okay, so the next thing, now we need Chrome. We want to open this. Oh, actually, if you have some other kind of browsers installed, this might not be giving you the Chrome logo. So we want to open this with the Chrome browser, because I've had the experience with other browsers that they sometimes do not support all the features. So I suggest use the Chrome browser for all these things that I'm going to tell you next. So in order to make it open with the Chrome browser, you right click, open with, and then choose another app. Or on Windows 7 it will be open with, and choose default program. And then we select the Google Chrome and check this box, always use this app to open HTML files. And then it will open in Chrome. So here's the access to inside website. It's all offline. I'm not in the internet right now. And you can make a bookmark to the bookmarks bar. So in that way, when you open a new tab, you will have it here, right here, to open it. So we will do the same thing with Sutta Central. We make a bookmark like this. Okay, so next is the Sutta Central, the new website. So for this you will need internet connection just to install it. So you open suttacentral.net. Now, because I have already downloaded, I don't need internet. So here we go on the options, and then you find here install Sutta Central. If the page is not fully loaded, I've had the experience sometimes it takes a minute or it takes a few moments until you can see this option. So just be patient, wait a minute or two, and then until the page is fully loaded, and then you can go on the options and install Sutta Central. So we give this pop-up and you just install. And then you get the separate app, like a separate program for Sutta Central. And this will also automatically create a shortcut to your desktop. So this is, now you can see why I have given different names to these in order to differentiate them. Next thing, you go to use offline, and then so sorry, should have mentioned earlier, you need the latest version of Chrome for this. So if you have some kind of older version, like for example with rectangular tabs here, it won't work. It needs to be the rounded ones. So just make sure you have one of the latest versions of Chrome installed, at least the one that I provide here in this package. So yes, because the other browsers don't support this completely, especially not for the offline usage. So also it doesn't work on Mac. This kind of website, like progressive web app, is not supported completely on any kind of Apple software, Apple devices, whether MacBook or whether iPads and iPhones. But you can use it offline on Windows computers and Linux, and also on Android. So what you want to do is check these two here, include parallels, include root text, and then download. So here, now I already downloaded, but for you need to download. Also one advice, while it's downloading, so it will take around 80 MB, so not that much, 80 MB. It will tell you now it's downloading and you can do what you like, but I had the experience, if you do something else, then it might fail and it might not work when it's offline. So my suggestion is, while it's downloading, just stay on this page, just be patient until it finished downloading and don't do something else, so that you have a higher success rate. So yeah, so just stay on this page until it will be finished downloading. And then you can use, here you see suttas only at this moment, English and only one language. So if you don't like English and you want, some other language like Vietnamese or Myanmar, you can also do that, but you can choose only one language. So English and only suttas. Vinaya will probably be available in maybe next year or in a few years, because Ajahn Brahmali, he is translating the Vinaya Pitaka right now, retranslating it, and when that will be integrated in this website, then the Vinayas, I assume, Vinaya will also be available offline. Okay, for the other kind of setup, if you go on any kind of sutta, here, the Sujatos translations obviously, then the setup is here. Then you have to click on this, and then you can choose any of these side by side or line by line, and you can activate the dictionary lookup, and you can change the fonts to any kind of font you like. I mean like the script, and then you can use it including the dictionary also. Okay, so sorry I showed it in the page, but here it's the same, right? Okay. So then the next thing is we want to, actually this one, the Sutta Center, you can also pin to your taskbar. So I don't know why it changed the icon. Okay, anyways, maybe not. Okay, so next thing we go to software. So here in the software folder we have 3 different softwares. Let's start with the Tipitaka app. Inside this folder you have 2, one version for Mac, can delete it, and one for Windows. So again we extract it, samzip, and then extract here. You also need the Chrome browser for this again. I mean, for all the features that I'm going to show, you'll need the Chrome browser. So we can delete the archive, and then we start this Tipitaka app. We can make a shortcut to the desktop, rename it Tipitaka app, or maybe like this, server. So when you double click this, it will open something like this, and then it will tell you here, open this URL in your browser. So here you can copy it. On Windows 7 you can't copy, you have to type it manually. So you just copy this, actually with Control C, you can copy it, and then you go into the Chrome browser and you paste it here and open this website. So then we are here, and we again make a bookmark, and so in this way we can open it from here. On this website, what you also might want to do is go to Options, then More Tools, and Create Shortcut. This will create a shortcut to the home screen, to the desktop. And another feature of this one is the Pali script converter. So for some reason the Pali script converter doesn't work if you open it from here. I don't know what's the reason, but I have found a way how to make it work. So go back into this folder and open the index file just by double clicking. Opening the index file, you cannot use the whole website. You see here the Tipitaka doesn't load. But what you can do is you can access the Pali script converter, then it will give you this this directory, and you open the index.html file, and now you can see it works. So here it didn't give these features. Now it works, and we make a bookmark again on this one. And this is just a small tool where you can convert any kind of script, any kind of Pali into any kind of other script. Thai, Lao, Myanmar, Cambodian, Bengali, even Brahmi script, what Asoka used 2000 years or more ago, Tibetan script, Cyrillic, what the Russians use. Yes, you can also use, so it also works for like transcribing from other scripts. So if you have Sinhala, some Sinhala text, Sinhala Pali text, you can put it here and you can transcribe it to Roman. So in any direction this works. Okay, so we finished with this one. One note here, you have to keep this server running. So if you close this and then you want to open this website, then it will not work. This is because it depends on this server, this app, which creates a local web server on your laptop. So again, you don't need internet, but it just creates a website on your laptop. So you need to open it, wait until it says, gives you the green script, and then you can open it, and you need to keep this running. So you cannot close it, then you run into problems. So keep it open while you're using this software. Okay, the next thing is the PCED. So that's this one. Let's extract it. You will get 2 folders. One is this 195. Here you have the file with which you can open this. So PCED, that is for the Chinese version. You can see here that will give you these kind of options in Chinese. Here you can close it. This is for English version. You can open the English version, then all this will be in English. And if you use like where was this? So I forgot how to do it in another script. But if you are using like the Myanmar script for this, so anyways, I will make another video on how to use all this. But if you're using Myanmar script for this app, you need to have installed the Zorji font, as far as I remember. Okay, you can. So this is now the version 1.9.3. You can also update this. So that's what this other folder is for, 1.9.5. So I don't know what all this means. I don't know Chinese, but I figured out that you can just go into one of these folders. So according to your operating system, whether you have Windows 10 or you have Windows 7 or Windows XP even. One thing is, if you want to use this Windows 7 one, this only works for the Chinese version. Even if you install this, then also the English version will somehow not work anymore. I don't know why. You can try on your computer, maybe it's just this computer, but I suggest that you just use this one, the Windows 7 one. Even if you have Windows 8 or Windows 10, use the Windows 7 one. Go into this folder. What we do is just copy this one. So I copied it, Control C, and then actually here it even gives you the Zorji font, but I already gave you in the other folder. And then you go into this folder again and you just paste it here. It asks you to replace these files, so you have to replace all of them, and then it replaces these files with the updated version, and now you can see file version 1.9.5. But on the other hand, the English version anyways will not be updated. So yes, and here if you open the Chinese one, then you get 1.9.5 updated version. I have no idea what's the update. Maybe some Chinese people can read these kind of manuals, but anyways, that's just what I found out. I'm not using this app personally, but Chinese or Vietnamese or even Japanese people might want to use this because it includes some Vietnamese dictionaries, Chinese dictionaries and all, so that's helpful for those who can speak these languages. Then the next one is this offline Pali declension. So again, we extract here, so anyone we can use, extract here. So we have this folder, we can delete these archives, we don't need them, and then go inside here, and you see it already invites you start here. So you can make a shortcut to the desktop. You can change the icon. Actually, I just got this a few days ago. I didn't know this tool before, so I didn't try to find any new icon. You can use any kind of icon you want. For example, I don't know, for example, something like this. And then you can just open it. It might take a moment to open. And you can again make a bookmark to the bookmarks bar. And then you can use this declension tool using the Veltius way of writing. So actually, sorry. Yes, now that you have the Pali keyboard already, you can also use the Pali keyboard. But if you don't have it, you use the Veltius system, which is just like this. So you write AA, sorry. You just write double A, and you get a long A. You write EE, you get a long E. You write hyphen N, you get a nga. You write wave plus N, you get a nya. You write dot plus T, you get a ta, and so on. So in this way you can use the Veltius system, which is sometimes faster to write actually. So I just write BHAA, and it will give me like this. Bas or Basati. So this is the declension tool. Very helpful. It gives you declension on one side and various dictionaries on the other side, in Chinese and English. Alright, so yes, I hope I didn't forget anything. So we finished installing all the things, all the tools. One more note, I already mentioned in the beginning that you should not move this folder. So this folder with which we have installed all these things, the Pali study folder and the folders which are inside here, don't change them, don't move them anywhere else. Don't copy this folder into this folder or any kind of such things, because then these shortcuts which we have created, they will not work anymore. And also here, for example, here the translation. So here we have associated the Access to Insight and Buddhist text translations. These links, so if I open here Brahmajala Sutta, now I can just easily open this. But if you change these folders, then those also won't work anymore. So if you change something, then you need to go again to the preferences, and you need to update here the proper location for these, and you will have to remake your shortcuts. Okay, so that's all. As far as the installation goes on Windows computers, I would like to thank Bhante Siddhartha, who lended me his laptop for this, for making this tutorial, and also Brother Park, who lended me the microphone with which I recorded this. Yes, thank you for your help. And I would also like to ask all the listeners, those who watch this video, that if you know any other kind of software which I haven't mentioned here, that you can let me know about it, and then I can maybe include it in future tutorials, or just edit this tutorial and edit here. So like, for example, this Pali declension tool, I just got to know this today actually. I just got it a few days ago and I found out how to use it today. Very useful. So if you know any other kind of softwares, please let me know in the comments or privately if you know me. And now that you also know how to install this, I'd like to ask you that for the benefits of others, you can keep this file if you have enough space on your computer. You can keep this file, Pali Study, so that you can share it with others, and that you can also maybe help them for installing. If anything in this video was unclear, please also let me know in the comments or privately, so I will try to help you and maybe add some notes to make it, to clarify it. So yes, thank you very much and good studies for everyone.